Hi, my name is Wynn Creasy. Thank you for this opportunity to tell you a little bit about my life and share some of my thoughts with you. I was born in rural Appalachia, Virginia. Poverty, alcoholism, and child abuse were all part of my life as a child and were not unusual in the small rural community that I grew up in. As you can imagine, being an effeminate boy child at that time did not endear me to my parents or others, and it often made me a target to adult men. When I was 6 years old, my parents separated, and since neither of them really wanted to care for children, my three sisters and I were placed in the Virginia Methodist Children's Home in Richmond, Virginia. We were at the orphanage for 4 years. Now, I know some of you may be thinking how horrible that was, but honestly, it was the best thing to happen to me as a 6-year-old child. I was exposed to outside thoughts and ideas. I got to see the world from a point of view other than the fear-based community I'd grown up in. I lost my horrible accent. I skipped a grade in school because someone recognized I was intelligent. That exposure to life gave me the inner strength to survive more crazy years when my parents reunited and we returned to live with them. But now I had a way out. I put myself through college, several actually. I had a career as a singer, both in opera and in music theater. And I eventually came to grips with what is termed gender dysphoria. I am transgender. I'd recognized very early that I was born into the wrong body. By the age of 3, I knew something was wrong. But it wasn't until my late 30s that I knew there was terms for it and that there was something that could be actually done about it. I transitioned in 1998 and I've never looked back. I was very lucky. I pass easily as a female in public. I eventually gained the confidence to return to performing. In fact, it was not until after I transitioned that I really came into my own as a performer and a singer. That lasted until 2016, when I began to slowly lose my voice due to a bizarre disease that was putting bone growths on my spine and pushing into my larynx. I eventually had to have spinal surgeries, and that put an end to my singing. I felt for a while that I'd lost my identity as a person. I've been singing since I was 3 years old, starting in my dad's band. The wonderful gift to come out of all that was I discovered the side of myself that was a visual artist. You'll see some of my works later on. I also recognized that for me, living a creative and artful life is the most important thing in the world, and I want to do it fully the rest of my days. It doesn't matter if my living creating adds a living for me. It's just a quality of life factor to my everyday existence. I'd like to share with you now a few steps that I've come to discover to increase living a creative and artful life for yourself, no matter what your day job is. And if you want to take notes, it's fine, but there won't be a quiz afterwards. Number 1, and most important, show up every day. Coach Dick Vermeil said, and I quote, "If you don't invest very much, then defeat doesn't hurt very much, and winning is not very exciting," unquote. So make your quality of life a priority in your life, not your livelihood. Have a regularly scheduled time for yourself that is sacred, time to meditate, time to create, time to journal. Don't let anyone else have that time for any other reason. Set specific goals for every day. For instance, if you're a musician, today I will master that 3.5 octave run with the triplets in the Mozart, as opposed to today I will practice for 45 minutes. See the difference? Number 2, define success for yourself. Take the time to decide what you really want out of life now. Is it security? What does that mean to you? Financial or commercial success? What about to be the very best you can be as a husband or a wife? Define for yourself how you know you have achieved what your ideal of success is. For me, it was singing at the Met, but maybe it's being able to give a gift back to your community, or finding a perfect job that uses all of your talents. Stay focused on your goals and your successes. Analyze them often. Make changes as you deem appropriate. Recognize there is only one person in the world with your voice, with your intellect, with your heart, with your experiences, and with your personal view of the world and life around you. Being unique is what makes us fulfilled as a human being. Trust yourself to be the very best that you can be, and to work daily to master your craft as an actor, as a writer, as a factory worker, as a mechanic, as a CEO, as whatever your path leads you to do. You will be successful. Number 3, don't worry, there are only 6, don't panic. Number 3, educate yourself. No one can teach you. Your teachers are only guides. You have to do the work yourself. Read everything you can get your hands on. Reading expands our vocabulary and our minds and allows us to converse more freely with others. Learn a foreign language. Trust me, it only gets harder the older we are. We as human beings cannot live isolated from the rest of the world, and not all the world, or even all the United States, speaks American English. Learn to play an instrument. It's not about becoming famous. It's about self-accomplishment and thus self-esteem. We all need to learn to love ourselves more. Learn to listen. Listen more than you talk. Hear what people are really saying to you. Think before you speak. These all seem so simple, but they take a real amount of concentration and work to do. And remember, my favorite rule, in life, you have to know the rules correctly before you can bend them. Number 4, and this is probably the hardest one, I think, for me. You will often hear family and friends and even teachers who mean well tell you to wait. But I say learn to take planned risk. American theater director Anne Bogart says, and I quote, "Do not wait. Do not wait for enough time or money to accomplish what you think you have in mind. Do not wait for what you assume is the appropriate stress-free environment. Do not wait for maturity or insight or wisdom. Do not wait until you are sure you know what you are doing. Do not wait until you have enough technique. What you do now will determine the quality and scope of your future endeavors." End quote. Know that we are all energy. When we are supercharged by using our own unique gifts, we have opportunity to harness this energy and make beautiful, positive change for ourselves and for others. Look at the way your inner light shines when you express yourself. Love this part of yourself. Honor it. Hold it sacred. Identifying your creative self will send a jolt through your bones, asking you to stand more confidently, live more lovingly. With each day, remind yourself of your spiritual identity. Remind yourself who you are. Nurture this part of yourself, and you will help nurture others to do the same. Number 5, almost there. Give back to others. Always take time to share your knowledge and passion with others. Volunteer. Donate services to senior or handicap centers. Offer performances for benefits or mentor young people interested in your field. Remember the much more principle. Life is much more worth it if we give back as much or more than we receive. I would not have had any kind of a career had it not been for a number of teachers who've given me so much of their time and knowledge for free, simply because they believed in me. That confidence took me throughout the United States and Europe as a singer. Number 6, ta-da! Make sure your priorities are in place. To live a creative and artful life requires peace of mind. It needs to be at least as important as your day job, and more important than the parties and the clothes and the big house and the social swirl, etc. Those are all trappings, and they're nice. There's nothing wrong with them. But to be at peace with yourself and the world around you is a conscious choice. It takes much hard work and dedication. Notice I didn't say sacrifice, hard work and dedication. The trappings and the decorations are just the icing on the cake. All this might seem intimidating. No one said life as a human being was going to be easy. But I promise you one thing. If you follow these premises and really work at them, when you look back on your life, you will feel pride in who you are, in what you have accomplished, and in what you've added to the world around you as a person of faith and as a human being. And that, my friends, is no small achievement. Namaste. Blessings on you all. Thank you.